Hey, so if you're a nonprofit leader and you're trying to figure out how to build some real financial stability, to really take control of your organization's future, well, you've come to the right place. We're going to break down exactly how you can make that happen step by step. All right, so here's what we've got on tap. First, we're going to talk about why earned revenue is such a game changer. Then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of 3 different models you can actually use. We'll start simple and work our way up. And to wrap it all up, we'll cover the 4 biggest mistakes people make so, you don't have to. All right, let's just dive right in. See, the thing is, the traditional way nonprofits are funded, well, it has a pretty big fundamental challenge. And I think it's time we all just looked at it head on. I mean, really think about this for a second. When your organization is running entirely on grants and donations, you're basically living at the whim of other people's priorities, right? Funder priorities change, donor generosity ebbs and flows. It can feel like you're always playing defense, just reacting to everything, instead of being truly in control of your own destiny. But, and this is a big but, there is another way, a really powerful one, and that's earned revenue. We're talking about income you generate yourself from the services or products you already provide. It's what puts you back in the driver's seat. It's funding that you own and you control, period. And look, we're not just talking about pocket change here. This isn't some tiny little sliver of your budget. For a lot of organizations, earned revenue can realistically make up anywhere from 15 to 30% of your entire budget. I mean, that is a huge game-changing shift towards real long-term stability. Okay, so you might be thinking, great, but where do I even start? Well, let's kick things off with the most straightforward, the most accessible model out there. Yeah, the concept here is it's beautifully simple. You've got a great service, you provide it, and the person or organization who gets that service pays you a fee for it. That's it. And chances are, this can be applied to a lot of the amazing work you're probably already doing. Things like youth mentoring, job training programs, counseling sessions. There's almost always an opportunity there to charge for the real value you're creating. Now, this is the secret sauce, the sliding scale. This is what makes it all work for a nonprofit. It lets you bring in revenue from the clients who can absolutely afford to pay, and you use that money to subsidize the very same service for those who can't. It's brilliant, right? It's how you get that financial stability without drifting away from your core mission. And getting started is pretty straightforward. Here's a simple 4-step playbook. First, figure out what your services actually cost. Second, create that fair sliding scale. Third, you gotta market it, let people know. And fourth, track your results, see what's working. It's a process, for sure, but you'll build momentum as you go. Okay, let's level up. Our second model builds on that first one, but this time it's all about taking your expertise and scaling it by partnering with bigger organizations. Okay, this is super important, so listen up. This is not a grant. You're not writing a grant proposal. This is a straight-up business deal. You're being hired as a vendor, as a service provider, to deliver something specific that another organization needs done. And you know what? Your potential clients are everywhere. Just think about it. Who needs the skills that your nonprofit has in spades? We're talking school districts that need after-school programs, hospital systems that need wellness programs, even corporations that want help with their sustainability efforts. They are all looking to hire experts like you. All right, now for our third and final model. And I'll be honest, this one is the most complex. It's the biggest left, but it also has the potential to be the most transformative. We're talking about creating an actual mission-driven business. So what is a social enterprise? It's a real business, one that has to stand on its own 2 feet financially. It could be anything, a coffee shop, a landscaping company, a thrift store. But here's the kicker. All the profit it makes gets funneled right back to support your nonprofit's main mission. And this example it nails the difference perfectly. A social enterprise is not just another one of your programs that drains money. No way. It's a business that's specifically designed to make money for your mission. And often, it can even advance your mission in how it operates, like a cafe that employs graduates of your job training program. So before you go down this road, you absolutely have to put on your business hat. You got to be tough and ask the hard questions. Is there really a market for this? Can we actually be profitable? Can we compete on price and quality? Because if the answer to those questions is no, then it's not a social enterprise. It's just another money pit. Okay, so we've covered the 3 big models. Now, to wrap things up, let's talk about the 4 most common mistakes we see nonprofits make. We'll go through them so you can learn from others and avoid these pitfalls yourself.
Mistake number 1. Oh, this one is a classic. It's underpricing your services. So many nonprofits are just afraid to charge what they're actually worth. But listen, if you charge less than it costs you to deliver a service, you're not generating revenue. You're actually losing money.
All right, mistake number 2 is kind of the flip side of that. It's not using a sliding scale. See, if you just set one price for everyone, you run a huge risk of pricing out the very community you exist to serve. And that, my friends, is the beginning of mission drift. It's a really dangerous trap to fall into. Mistake number 3 is a big one, especially for social enterprises. It's skipping the business plan. Jumping in without doing real market research and making financial projections, that's not a strategy. That's just a hope and a prayer. And it almost never works. And the last big mistake, number 4, is basically not being honest with your numbers. If you have a fee-for-service model, but you end up forgiving almost all the fees, you're not actually earning revenue. You've got to be real about what cash is actually coming in the door. And just remember, the whole point of all this, it's not just about the money. It's about what the money enables. Building these stronger financial operations is what allows you to run excellent programs. It's the foundation that lets you create real, sustained impact for years to come. So I'm going to leave you with this one final question to chew on. What is one small thing you could do, like this month, to just get started? Don't try to do it all at once. Just think, what's one service we could put a price on? Who's one potential partner we could call? Just pick one thing and start there.